Americans, because you got a bunch of military right now, bro. They're not with this shit. The United States military personnel, they're not fucking with this shit, bro. They understand what the fuck's going on. They are not with this shit. The majority of America's not with this shit.
Yeah, but
they want to try something different this time.
This is crying wolf, though.
It's not.
This is crying wolf.
It's not crying wolf. We're always going down a path of murder, slaughter, instead of saying, hey, let's fucking be men, take the fucking out, stop fucking with these people, and maybe we can go with historically where they've never fucked with us unprovoked. That maybe they'll stop fucking with us and we just be men and admit the fuck that we were wrong and try to work something out in a more diplomatic fashion without so much fucking bloodshed.
Well, JD Vance is in Pakistan. He's negotiating a deal.
If at that point they're not willing to accept the fact that, the United States has been, hey, we did some shit we probably shouldn't have fucking done. We apologize. Let's do our best to try to make this right. And then they still want to say death to America. Then at that point, I'm like, oh, okay, we got to do what we got to do because we're not going to let America fall. But why are we rushing to bloodshed before diplomacy? That's my question.
We are diplomatic all the time. Are you kidding me? Communication never stops.
And again, with these ceasefires, again, it has always been us in Israel to fuck up and go back on the fucking ceasefires we fucking commit to, bro.
Be fair, right? We've only had one sitting president go to the DMZ. One. The only sitting presidency to try diplomacy that ever went to the DMZ. That's Donald J. Trump. He went there. He believes in diplomacy. But if you're going to act like, what happened with the 12-day war? We obliterated the nuclear sites. All right, cool. We obliterated it. But they were going to have the ability to retrieve that material. And they already have
it's not obliterated, Anthony. Listen to what you just said. It's not obliterated. If it can
you can't obliterate that without it detonating.
Okay, so I'm not saying that it was like the term obliterated is relative. It doesn't mean that they couldn't recover it. Based on the information we had at the time, we believed when he said it during the 12-day war, right after the 12-day war, that it was a successful mission. We didn't build up the troops immediately.
If we got it,
we had bad intelligence.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is so weird. You guys are now definitions are relative. No, obliterated is not relative. Obliterated means obliterated since it's mean obliterated. So again, then we gotta start looking at our administration. Then you're giving us false fucking information.
Give us that information.
Well, then we just don't have to even give that information, right?
Had fucking Kitover, whoever was on there, and then some other nuclear scientists. They all were saying you couldn't destroy the material. Like, you can't do that.
Exactly.
You can't bomb it from the outside. It just doesn't work that way. I know you know that, and I think some people are like literally confused. He was referring to their sites. They were obliterated. Like, to say otherwise is just kind of weird. But that material, and we didn't know if they smuggled it out, which apparently they said that they were not going to cease production. Anything above 20% becomes weapon grades capable. And it becomes a point of saying, well, the rest of the world doesn't want you to have this. Like, nobody sides with you on having this. And so we're going to say you can't have this, and we're going to go ahead and intervene on that. So, I mean, even there, yeah, Trump may have used the wrong word, but the sites were obliterated. You just can't kill uranium that way. Otherwise, Chernobyl, we would have just carpet bombed it and then been like, all right, it's all cleaned up. It just doesn't work that way.
Well, and my point is this. We in America, we can talk about intelligence. Let's stop believing our intelligence altogether. Let's just ignore it forevermore because we can't say that it's been accurate, right? So let's just ignore it. Let's ignore Israel's because it's maybe been wrong. So we ignore it. But the fact is that our intelligence didn't know they could go 2,500 miles. The intelligence doesn't know who has a gun in our own country. And you believe that they couldn't have maybe achieved it and moved it or have it at a secure location because the IAEA in 2025 said they have locations undisclosed to us, which was a violation, right? So the fact is, they could have it. We don't know. Our our intelligence didn't know about their freaking other missiles. Now, we should know about those if they've been firing them off, right? But to have the warhead, they haven't fired it off. We don't know if they've got it or not, because let's be real, the shit is down there deep. We don't know what's down there unless we don't have anybody going in there that I'm aware of. Israel maybe did have somebody that maybe they can say, no, we're not quite there. But the reality is we don't
Have
know.
you and Jeffrey
And when you play too conservative with your, let's just give him a shot, that's when the guy takes the hammer and goes from the car to the woman's head, right? We waited too long.
Ice, the zit has already popped. The zit has already popped, Ice. When the Ayatollah was taken out and 200 other executives at the fake meeting they orchestrated, you would think that if they had a fail-safe, they would flip that switch and say, fuck it, we've already lost, and we will dispense everything. Don't believe the lies about these cave fortresses. If you got to bring a fucking rocket out of a hole from a mountain, you can blow that fucking hole to hell, and they ain't bringing out nothing. So it's not a fail-safe. There's no such thing as a perfectly secure military fortress. You are living in fucking La La Land, in my opinion. You're living in fucking La La Land.
So again, it's the issue of crying wolf. We heard this about Saddam Hussein and the weapons of mass destruction. Exactly what you said. We heard this about Assad with chemical weapons. And look, everything again. You cannot get mad at the American people for doubting what the United States government has been crying wolf with several other fucking leaders, several other countries, several other fucking conflicts. Again, it's been lie after lie after lie. And it's been our tax dollars. It's been our sons and daughters' blood. Okay, so again, we're not the ones that you have to have an issue with. It's the United States fucking government. We're done. We're tired of fucking being lied to. And if the United States government cared that fucking much, Ice, they would have told all them fucking lies.
Okay,
The few times
who's
that
the
they
IAEA with? Is the IAEA American? Is that an American establishment that we use, or is that something that's international? Is that our intelligence when the IAEA goes into study this and says this is our findings? Is that American intelligence, or is that something that comes from abroad?
I'm not sure. I can't answer that question. I'm not sure. I don't know.
It's an international agency, so that's why I'm saying, and I'm not sitting here saying that I don't know what our intelligence told us. None of us are going to know the exact thing. They're not going to tell us all what's going on, but I'll tell you this. I just know what the agency that the world relies on, what they said. And when we wait, you can wait a little too long, because the nuclear technology now.
That's not true, though, is it, Ice?
Hold on.
Ice. You just said the IAEA.
Hold on. So I gotta ask you a question.
They clearly said it wasn't, Iran wasn't enriching any uranium, and the American intelligence itself, talks about and said no one had any belief that Iran was enriching uranium. So I don't. If your argument is you're blaming it on intelligence, then I don't really understand where that's coming from.
Hold up. So let's just say Iran has a lot hidden in those mountain ranges, and they've had it for years. What's the indication that they were going to strike the U.S.? And I'm going to be honest, because someone mentioned it earlier. When we talk about imminent threats who have nukes to the U.S., Kim Jong-un's been popping shit for a very long time. And now wants them to go over there and take away his toys. So this for out of let's just say it's just crazy to me how like whimsically in 2025 we just gotta go over there and start fucking with them. And then we do it again. So like where is this innate disposition for the US to now all of a sudden under this administration just go count them as an immediate threat? Then we're over there, we're saying it's a regime change. Then the administration, Trump even said, he's like, hey, that straight up removes. Let's take that. Let's also take into account, right? Trump is fucked with his adversaries, China and Russia, who get a lot of their oil from that stir. So it was kind of like a play from Trump's administration to say, hey, let's kind of fuck with our major players. That way we can kind of regulate what they have going on. But obviously it's not working. So, Mister, I'll just say this: like currently in Korea, we walked across the DMZ. Kim Jong Un hasn't done shit with Trump in office because, I'll be quite frank, he's probably terrified and probably wants to work on economic relations. And there's been some talks, but those go under the radar. Also, we have a whole DMZ zone that pretty much guarantees we're doing something there. And we currently have their entire Navy, their naval fleet, including most of their fishing fucking things, locked in a harbor. They aren't getting out. They don't have the capabilities to do absolutely anything except stay there. He can launch a missile, but there is nothing going on. He's encircled. He's trapped in. And China and every other nation is not really giving North Korea the big out. In fact, they have a working relationship, but it's not as cozy as people think or the news media would make it out to be, because China really doesn't allow a lot of the North Koreans to cross over, and they've done a lot of things to North Koreans that have, like, quote, moved in and tried to disappear into the interior of China. They plop them right back and drop them over onto North Korea's soil. So there's not like this whole.
Why are we caring about that country?
Okay, great. Okay, yeah, Jesus Christ. So, I'm gonna finish, and then you can speak after you're done fucking like licking whatever it is off the floor.
So, service announcement. Public service announcement to the retards that just entered the stage. People are talking, so shut the fuck up and wait your turn. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, so like we have been we have a ton of sanctions on them, and North Korea just is irrelevant at this point. But it's in terms of the IAEA or whatever it is, the alphabet agency, they have confirmed in 2020 and 2023, they confirmed that Iran was at 60%. They stated that this is well beyond the weapons grade, and it was 90% of completion of the ability to create it, because 60% is really like the hard part's over. It's just now basically a production factor, and then putting it into a device to launch it. So this now becomes a massive problem. And then they said in 2025, prior to this, that yes, Iran has confirmed from multiple sites from the information that they have that they are still in or exceeding the 60% threshold, and that they currently have 450 some kilograms or something like that they were able to confirm that Iran has. And the belief was, if they were able to confirm this much with the way that Iran has not been open to inspection, and with what they see, there was beliefs that there may be actually more development than we're aware of. So the reports actually came out before Trump even bombed the 12-day war and all of this stuff, and we knew this, and it even occurred under Biden's administration. This was ongoing with issues. So I'm confused why people just don't say that there would. They didn't say anything.
I'm all right. Please stop. We're having a dialogue. You get it after us. Yeah, so, God damn, man. Yo, you fucking idiot, bro. Give them a couple moments to go back and forth, and then we're going to move on to the rest of the stage, please. I'm asking you. Go ahead, Mr. Shea. Go ahead, guys.
Thank you. Now, I'm not disputing everything you're saying, Viking. What I am saying is this, is like, I kind of used North Korea just as an example of an immediate threat with nukes. Now, we may have it contained, quote unquote, but at the same time, we're talking about a pressing threat. Now, I know you mentioned them getting closer and closer with reports from the IRGC in 2020, but again, I guess my mind is still saying, okay, well, they've been under development, quote unquote, for years. So I'm pretty sure they got it. But there's no, like, I'm trying to figure out, are there any reports that state that, like, hey, once Iran gets this completed, they're going to just start blowing shit up and coming right at the U.S. Like, that to me is where I'm trying to understand as far as, like, this immediate need, or why we just popped up and started fucking with them last year.
So the concern that has been iterated is not necessarily that they would desperate, like maybe they might try to reach us. And where they have IRBCs, which are interregional ballistic missiles, they have that capability. IRBMs, I'm sorry, I said the wrong thing. They don't have ICBMs, but they have IRBMs, and then they have ballistic missiles. So where they have these two different factions. And a lot of our politicians just automatically go to ICBMs. I don't know why they don't say the right thing. But these IRBMs, if they could be equipped even with a dirty bomb of sorts, these would prove to be very very, very difficult. And Iran, yes, in part it is Israel because they are an ally. We wouldn't want them to use it. And there's no guarantee that if it launches, that Israel wouldn't launch the 7 that they have, and then we'd have a nuclear holocaust. We would have something untold. It's not just about them preventing them for us. It's more of preventing it for the region. Because if you imagine if they launch or Israel launches, now all of a sudden it's not just those nations that are affected. It's the entire freaking area, the entire region, multiple countries.
Bro, we be on the line.
Yeah, nuclear holocaust won't happen. If there's a nuclear strike, it's strategic and it's to a military, predetermined coordinate, and the world is going to have to eat it. But if you don't think there's ever going to be a nuclear detonation when we spend fucking trillions and other countries spend trillions, it's the biggest firework man has ever created, and we love to pop fireworks.
Crisis have been waiting patiently, and thank you, Crisis. I appreciate you got the mic, brother.
I've been waiting patiently. I also waited with him.
Shut the fuck up. You just got off the book. You're gonna be waiting downstairs in the kitchen, man. Shut the fuck up, man. Get tired of fucking
Thanks, man.
take your ass out of the kitchen, make some sandwiches, bitch. Crisis, you got it. Make sure your face.
Sid, were you the one that mentioned earlier about like the different tactics?
Stupid American motherfucker, listen to me.
What the fuck is going on right now?
You can talk down in the kitchen while you making sandwiches with a mom.
Yeah, hey, Sid, were you the one that mentioned earlier about the tactics?
Which tactics? Which ones?
In terms of like the different types of warfare, right?
Yeah. I did touch on it earlier. Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. So, like, I'm not really sure where people get this doom and gloom when it comes to the American military capabilities, but they're vastly ignorant of our capability. And I definitely agree with everything you were saying earlier, because you were calling it adjusting. In the military, I think when they say adjust, like the Marine call it adjust, adapt. And
Same thing we saw with Russia and Ukraine. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And you can probably confirm this for me as well.
Absolutely, brother. So here's the thing. Yeah, theoretically we could do it. We could drop a couple nukes on Iran right now and just be fucking done. But again, there's gonna be thousands, tens of thousands of dead civilians, babies, women, elderly. The United States can't do that. It's optically, that's gonna be a horrible fucking look. So that's not even an option on the table right now, unless Iran becomes such an imminent threat to our civilian population, then that would be the only acceptable reason to use that option. So when it comes to adapting, we don't have what it takes right now. We don't have what it takes right now to go in as cleanly as our administration has been telling us we can. Because oh my God, dude.
Hold on, sing, because you're about to. I want you to continue. But like when people jump off the mic, what the fuck does that mean? What does that mean?
They're retarded. They got 2 brain cells, brother. They got IQ of about 50.
Okay, because I got special forces in my family. So, like, I've heard them speak about this conflict the way that you've been speaking about this conflict. And it's really just a question of how far do we want to take it. If we want to take it to total warfare or full spectrum warfare, it's a wrap. But that's not what we're trying to do.
Yeah, well, the vast majority of the American people don't want to do that because we understand what the cost is. And that's why the real debate is a juice worth the squeaks. We can do it. There's no question.
I have a question for you. I heard you say that it's not on the table, but isn't it also on the table?
Fuck are you asking him a question in the middle of him answering your question? What kind of question is that? He's in the middle of answering a question.
You fucking asked him a question too, Bobo.
Can you ask him a question after he answers you?
They said the exact same thing, buddy, so don't control.
Just real quick, and then everybody, we can open up the floor again. So no, it's on the table, but America has to have a really good justification in order to drop nukes. We can do it. There's no question about we can do it and completely be done in 2 seconds. But they're gonna have to have a really good justification for the rest of the world why they killed tens of millions of innocent women, children, and elderly in the process. All right. So what I'm thinking that the only justification we could have to do it is if Iran poses an imminent threat to our civilian population inside the borders of the United States of America. And that would be the only viable. If not, it's bad PR, bro. It's sick PR.
That's the reason why I asked you yesterday, because you think that we need to pay attention to the World Cup that's coming up in the U.S.
I can't answer that.
The whole world is traveling to one place.
Miss Mondrade, señorita, bonita, hermosa.
Something most likely to happen during that time.
This is what you just asked before. So now that you kind of diverted over to the topic of terrorist attacks, and this is where Robert Page, he's actually this is one of the things that he's really well known for. So he was one of the first professors to actually source every single terroristic attack to try to gain some insight on why they occur and how frequently they occur and when they occur. What he found, this was devastating news, okay, is that a lot of people assume Islam, when it comes to the Middle East, when it comes to Arabs and Islam, that the attacks are rooted in religion. And his study, his college paper found out that it wasn't. That there weren't that many terrorist attacks. Once the America invades a country, boom, the terrorist attacks shoot up, right? 90% is what he found out in this shit. All right, so what we're looking at is, statistically speaking, once we ground invade
Trump's
Iran,
the sun.
more than likely when we're going to see the terrorist attacks happen. We're going to start seeing these sleeper cells activate. Again, this is speculation, but this is based off his research. This is based off his publications. Is that the terrorist isn't really religious based; it's more politically based. And that happens to be when we invade other territories.
And then whenever you're saying like the optics, they wouldn't do it for the optics, but do you think that a president would make statements, the last 2 or 3 statements that Donald Trump made, if they were concerned about optics? Think about that.
Okay, so can we say something for dropping a nuclear bomb, BB? The optics for that.
No, I understand, but think about what he said about civilization, ending of civilization, praise be to Allah. Like, it's not normal shit that a president says. I don't think he gives a fuck about optics.
Well, here's the thing. If he didn't give a fuck about, right? Well, here's the thing though. And you're right. But here's the thing though. What's transpired in the last few days is that he made that threat to wipe out an entire civilization. And then, an hour or 2 before that deadline, he said that Iran gave him a 10-point request list that is workable, right? And then Iran has consistently been posting their 10-point list and has never wavered from it, never changed it. And so that's why everybody's skeptical. Was like, wait a minute, you said it was a workable 10-point list, and this is a 10-point list they've been showing since day fucking one. Then all of a sudden, Caroline Levitt comes on in front of the people and says, he threw, if you think that 10-point list that they've been presenting for this past month, a little over a month, almost a month and a half, if you think that's the list President Trump was referring to, no, he threw that list in the trash. So now the American people have the question, okay, so what 10-point list are you talking about that's different from the one they've been consistently posting for the last month and a half? And this is where the White House is completely went silent now. And this is a bad look. This is a bad look for the White House and the president.
Okay, so can I speak?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, I think, okay, so my biggest issue in terms of what's going on right now in the Middle East is America's war in the Middle East is not for Americans, it's for Israel, number one. Number two, it's like, I don't get it. Why would Israel not get a weapon to protect themselves? Especially looking at what's going on in the Middle East. Like, I don't get how people think that Pakistan had, nuclear weapon because of India. So if Israel has that weapon, why would Iran have it? I don't get it. Especially looking at what's going on in Palestine, looking at what's going on in Lebanon, Syria, in front of their nose. And all of a sudden, people in that region have to keep quiet. You cannot protect yourself because America said if you protect yourself, we're going to bomb you. And America don't even take shit from the UN. They don't take shit from the UN. So who in the hell, who would sit in the neighborhood when one particular person is bombing everybody, but you're not expected to protect yourself with a weapon that they also have? How does that make sense? How does that make sense?
Have you ever played chess, sir? Have you ever played checkers? It's called game theory. That's how it makes sense, sir.
Please, can I finish? See, the 20 years ago is not the 20 years now. People have moved on. People know who America is outside America. People have seen American tactics. People have seen Israeli tactics. We are no more than 20 years ago. People have to plan for the future. People have to.
Sir, it's 2026. There's only the now.
Excuse me, sir, please. So again, America is not the god of the world. It's just a country like any other person. Everybody have the right to protect themselves. See what's going on in the world. It's only a fool who wouldn't go and get a nuclear weapon. Looking at what's going on right now.
Sir, are you an illegal alien in America? I just heard geese. Are you on a nature walk? Are those geese? Are you an illegal alien in America?
Go ahead, Tomo. You can finish. Okay.
The person who have ever used a nuclear weapon is America. He should not even think about talking when it comes to nuclear weapon. Who's supposed to use it? He is the one who have ever used a nuclear weapon on a country. So why is he even the police of nuclear weapons? He's not even supposed to be using it or even talking about it. But he's the only person who has used it and killed innocent people. So who gives him the right to be talking about other people how to get a nuclear weapon or not? This is ridiculous. Every country, a sovereign country, has the right to get a nuclear weapon if they feel that they are being threatened by another country. Being it Iran, being it Israel, being it Palestinian, being it, how you call it, Hold on, excuse me, sir.
Sir, are you an illegal alien living in America? I just heard some geese flying overhead, sir.
You can go to Poland back where you came from. You can go to Poland, Russia, So hold on. I was born in Africa, you fuck. Which part of Africa, sir? Which part of Africa, you fucking cock? So you're not a fool. You fucking
never had one lesson.
They are defining what it is to us. We know who they are. We know where they come from. It's just like you telling me I have a line. A stranger comes into my line and says that is part of him. No, we know where you come from, sir. We know where you smell where you come from. So regardless whether you are there for 20 years, 100 years, we know where you come from. And we can trace you to where you come from. Your name says it. Your language says it. Where you come from? Excuse me, sir. Where you come from? Where did you come from? Please, you are not. So I was posing you. No, you dumb fuck. You're embarrassing me right now.
Okay, so Tomo, let me finish on topic. So let's get back on topic. What were you saying?
Exactly. Let me finish. Yeah, let me finish. So I'm just saying this. Look at what's going on in the world. Like everybody has. Why aren't you getting? So
let me finish.
What the gay got to do about this? These guys are crazy. Anyway, if they cannot have a quality conversation, they just turn out to gay. These guys are fun. Anyway, so I'm saying it. Look at what's going on in the world. Everybody has to protect themselves. It's only a fool who's going to see somebody's ass burning and someone to put water underneath his ass. That's crazy. And the person who is burning somebody is calling somebody terrorist. Can you imagine? The people who kill people are calling people terrorists. Who are you? The definition of terrorist is you. It's crazy.
That's where I gotta agree with him, man. Like, we go over there fucking with people's sovereignty. We beat our chest about God giving rights and
questions like they were kingdoms. Talk to my echoes, thought it was all. Little universe on my pillow, spinning circles in my skull. Wrote my name across the cosmos. Still the silence swallowed it whole. You cut through the swamp of the north, I got it through the pain inside. Jesus, you reveal what is real, pulling out the lies inside. I am not the only one. You lead me to the one true light. Mystery falling from my eyes. Truth of self in your open sight. I called it wisdom, just a spiral. Complete cage around my doubt. Every answer led to absence. Every secret just shut me out. Then you stepped into my nightmare. Tore the curtain, broke the spell. Said you love before you question. Child, you're more than your
Now, give me the RGC, a nuclear weapon that's ready to go with the fucking delivery system. Guarantee you they're gonna fucking use it. Give fucking Saddam Hussein or Gaddafi one. When they were alive, they would use it. There's a big difference, bro. Israel probably, if anybody has a right to fucking use it, they matter.
Hang on, you keep talking about hypotheticals of people who might use it.
I'm not talking.
Hang on. No, that's hypothetical. It absolutely is hypothetical.
Holy shit.
Whereas Tom just told you that the USA, he just told you that the USA had the capability and conclusively and factually use nuclear weapons. So speak about that point, please, baby, because you keep talking about hypotheticals whereby people might use nuclear weapons. This guy might do that. He might do that and just stop him. He told you the USA has conclusively and factually used it. So speak to that point. So far, there's already one country that's ever used it. Speak to that point. Stop talking about hypotheticals, baby.
I don't need to speak to that point. I'm talking about Israel. He's saying that every country deserves to have a nuclear weapon. I'm saying absolutely.
You just said that Gaddafi and Iran and all the rest of them use it. Yeah, because you don't have a response.
Not every country deserves a nuclear weapon. Not every country can actually wholeheartedly tell me that every country deserves to have a nuclear weapon. Tell me yes or no.
Hold on, guys. Okay, so it's okay. Well, check this out. There's likely that they will be less likely, but it must not. Damn sure gonna see a nuclear holocaust. Why? Okay, because someone out there is going to say, "Fuck you, I'm going down. That's my."
You believe the USA should get rid of it. You believe the USA should get rid of it.
That's what I would call that a well-regulated area. The odds of getting away with something stupid there are very slim. And talking about a nuclear weapon, you can say, fuck it, they're gonna kick my ass. Let's just say it was Iran attacking the US, okay? We're not letting these guys go. Now, Iran doesn't make it now. Just wait. More people that have shadows will switch as the baseline drum right now. No will is fire. Unchained, untamed. No path is written. No soul is bled. Thou hast the right but to do thy will.
the endless dark where the echoes play, no other shall say nay, no other shall stay. Through the light, through the smoke, let it all declare. The will remains forever unafraid. And again, a lot of these proxies too.
Look at what Libya has done on now. Do you think if Libya had the weapon that they had, do you think anybody can go and do the shit they did? And when they fucked up Libya, who gives a fuck? Nobody gives a fuck. Everybody goes to their main housing country and drink tea. Like nobody cares about the Libya. Fucked it up because of your so-called fucking shit. People's lives but you tell me who's right to be now. When you at it. The air is still. You tell people why the fuck are you talking about that? When you at it. You really don't make no fucking sense. And then you tell me why did you do it? You never did God at all. And did I keep? They don't know how to do it. Who did? This is the right to do. But I didn't have any time. But you have it. They don't make no fucking sense. Probably irrational Africans like you want to know. You know, you call yourself African, you call yourself Arab in the first place.
boy said no one to die. I think they're lying. Maybe just issue with what you just said. First of all, I never tried to think of company. I never tried to anyone to the company. I don't necessarily think directors. And the second problem we have is you can choose to always honor the potential people and say that they are supporters. But we also have the facts to the ground. Who has actually nuclear weapons? And we all know facts one particular country, right? So you are operating remember, you're not in the midst of like I'm sure one of those guys is the best facts and all this if you're ignorant about that's your problem. But the point is, you cannot let that statement be. You cannot let that statement be because you are operating on people. You keep saying other people will use nuclear weapons, other people will use weapons of mass destruction. You haven't.
Civilization and the difference between people that want to live.
Let's talk about that.
The exact same thing. Again, interrupting. Help it. What I'm talking about, well, I'm going to interrupt. I need to pull it out. I thought this was stop. Oh my God.
You don't need to share your hobbies with us. It's not the question.
Shut the fuck up.
No change, no time.
Genocide's over there. Stop crying.
I'm the shadow.
Okay, you have anything senseless to say.
We carry peace to the night. I believe that.
Just like I listen to TV, I listen to Mikey, I listen to, unfortunately, we all got earplugs like Coco's opinion, but he does have an opinion that he wants to bring up. I understand, my guy. Don't go down there, please, fucking douchebag that fucking has no manners, maybe. So, you can like those signals that we're not making it.
It's a very simple question, guys. You sound so rational and you're very well put together. So the biggest thing is the question. I believe that's one of the things that because it's almost fully clear. You don't think anyone else is happening to it, but you agree. However, population. So presumably you're so concerned about the Iranian population. That's your concern, right? Like you've sort of probably deeply about the Iranian people. That's why you think, the Iranian regime and so on needs to be dismantled. I guess you've seen what's happened with ICE killing American civilians and all the rest of it. On that basis,
ICE doesn't attack American civilians, so again,
so no American citizens, no virus. You're gonna make shit up.
Decided to get in her car and attempt to
I know the lawyer. What she
decided to get in the car and you said ICE was killing
you're not helping. Instead of worrying about what the fucking national vision of England to keep us all off you actually fucking bring up a point that actually has some bearings of a slant because you clearly don't know more than I do, and you clearly are the most leaders on the stage.
I mean, you can make that statement if you want. How many police officers do they train to actually stand in front of a live engine block? If the engine block on the car is live, do you think they're gonna just stand there and try to get out the hook, or do you think they're gonna stop the car?
So his cover move was actually on point. He shifted over from the rear to assess whether it was, came through the passenger side, and then he went to the front to provide cover while there was a third officer on the other officer's right at the back watching for that action. So he covered his angles right because in case he did have to fire since she was acting aggressive and it was uncertain what she had in there, he had the best line of sight in order to draw his weapon and fire because it was the safest way. If he did it on the passenger side, he would have shot the other officers.
Through the flames and the embers, the spell is bespoke. Your arrows are slinging, the springs tend to glow. A force world of brilliance, a power I know.
So the fact that I'm standing up for the person who is in front of the light is not in the wrong thing. It's the fact that he's trying to do
What happens in all of this stuff? He gets practiced. His job is to protect anybody around him. Somebody's driving around him.
Veils of the morning, her armor does gleam. The warrior spirit ignites every dream. The smoke is manhood awakening. She took up her stand. Brilliance from ceilings. The fire does burn. The goddess of strength. If the world left to turn, fire without jury, I invoke. Through the flames and the embers, the spell is bestowed. Your arrows are flinging, the springs tender glow. A force wild and brilliant, a power I know.
Well, for me, I was trained anywhere from 10 feet because that distance is close. The reaction I had to do auxiliary security. So we did a lot, like in there, it was the 15 circle, 15 foot radius because that was still
It's 21. It's 21 is what it really is. But they talk to you about the circle within the circle. There's a circle that you originally remember yourself with, and then you have to understand this is from that circle. Like, you're talking about a vehicle. That's a whole different game. The people use those examples.
As a mystical union, a fairy and fall.
This is a person who lost a family member to a fucking cop who didn't do the right thing. And I'm still willing to stand up for the fact that they're not all bad people, bro. Like, this shit is crazy.
Literally have a town that I live in that you can come and drink a night.
I said something real quick. So Christ sakes, just a little context for Mr. Truth and Troll. Here's something you should be aware about those areas. If the whole time social media, they were basically Hold on, sir. So, just listening to the guys. So, they were basically where they were young. They were obviously agitators. You had agitator. So, with that being said, the temperature of the whole environment was, did you know a lot of
That's very good point. You're absolutely right.
Please mute up and stop interrupting Truth. Stop interrupting. Let him fucking finish and mute your mic.
So they were putting water down to their officers while they'd be walking. They would slip and fall. They were throwing pepper spray out there. So they were causing a lot of physical harm. And now these officers in an intense chaos are dealing with